Welcome back to Reddit Audio Tales. Today's story is a roller coaster of heartbreak, regret, and betrayal. Imagine dedicating 27 years to a marriage, only to uncover that your wife wasn't where she said she'd be, and worse, she wasn't alone. I, 55M, have been married to my wife, 53F, for over 27 years. We've built a life together, 2 kids, a home, countless memories. Like any long marriage, we've weathered our storms. I've had my share of struggles, particularly with alcoholism. I've been clean for 4 years now, but I spent years before that emotionally absent, lost in bottles while my wife carried most of the weight of the household and our kids, one of whom has chronic health issues. She handled it all. Doctor appointments, insurance calls, late-night fevers, smiles for the kids even when I know she was breaking inside. She's always been the strong one. Lately, I've been trying to rebuild myself, trying to be the man I should have been years ago. But it seems like while I was trying to fix myself, I lost sight of something deeper unraveling in our marriage. 2 weeks ago, my wife told me she had to travel to visit her mom. Her mother is getting older and had a minor fall recently, not serious but enough to justify a short trip to help out for a few days. She planned to leave Monday morning and return Saturday. She's done this before and I didn't think anything of it. We texted throughout the week, though her replies were occasionally delayed. She said she was tired, busy with her mom. Nothing suspicious, at first. But then there was this one moment that gnawed at me. She posted a photo on her private Instagram story, just a snapshot of the book she was reading, casually placed on a table. But the table didn't look like something from her mom's house. It was modern, almost like it belonged in a rental unit. It seemed out of place. It should have meant nothing, but for some reason it didn't sit right. That's when the paranoia started. Or maybe it wasn't paranoia, maybe it was instinct. Either way, I did something I never thought I'd do. I hired a private investigator. I told myself it was just to quiet the voices in my head. Just to confirm that everything was fine. That I was being irrational. But it wasn't fine. The PI found that she didn't spend her Monday night at her mom's house. Instead, she had booked an Airbnb in a nearby beach town. Not a hotel, not somewhere convenient. An Airbnb that looked more like a weekend getaway. He confirmed she stayed there Monday night, and she wasn't alone. There was a man with her. A man she met again Friday night, same beach town, different Airbnb. Both times she entered and exited with him. The PI provided photos, timestamps, and even footage of them holding hands and kissing before they went inside together. That's when I felt the bottom drop out from under me. The man, it turns out, was her ex-boyfriend from when she was 15 years old. He was 18 at the time. They dated for a few years back then and lost touch as teenage relationships often do. I had heard his name in passing maybe once or twice in all our years together. Apparently, he reached out about a year ago through social media. One of those harmless, "How have you been?" messages that snowball into something more. According to her, they started reconnecting over the phone, sharing memories, life stories, and disappointments. He's been divorced for 4 years, no kids, no relationship since. She said they bonded over the pain of unrealized dreams. Over feeling lonely. She told me he listened. Really listened. More than I had in years. And maybe she's right. Maybe I didn't listen. Maybe I missed 100 signs. But I never cheated. I never betrayed her. I was broken, yes. But I stayed loyal. When I confronted her, I didn't scream. I didn't break things or demand answers through rage. I simply showed her the report. The photos. Her face went pale. She broke down. I've never seen her cry like that. She kept saying she didn't mean for it to happen. That it wasn't what I thought. Then came her version of the truth. She admitted to meeting him Monday night. She said they talked, hugged, kissed a few times. Nothing more. She left early the next morning. Spent the next 3 nights at her mom's place. But Friday she went back. Said she couldn't stop thinking about him. That she needed closure. Or clarity. Or something. According to her, they kissed again. Things got heated. She said he touched her, with her pants off, and she touched him but he kept his pants on. She claimed she panicked, cried, told him she couldn't go through with it, that it wasn't right, that she still loved me, and then she left. I asked her if they had sex. She swore they didn't, swore on our kids, said she couldn't betray me like that, not entirely, that her guilt stopped her, that it wasn't about sex, it was about being seen. That's the part one can't wrap my head around. You booked an Airbnb. You met a man from your past, twice. You took off your pants. You let him touch you. And you tell me it wasn't cheating? She says it was an emotional affair. That she got swept up in nostalgia. That she missed who she used to be. And that he reminded her of that girl, before marriage, before hospitals, before alcoholism. Just a girl who was happy once. She says she hasn't spoken to him since. That it was a mistake. A moment. That it's over now. That she wants to fight for our marriage. She blocked him. Deleted his number. Gave me full access to her phone. Offered to go to therapy. Wrote me a 5-page handwritten letter that said, "You've hurt me too, but I never stopped loving you." And I'm just sitting here, numb. Wondering if she's telling the truth. Wondering if I'm a fool for even entertaining it. I know I wasn't the perfect husband. I know I spent too many years inside my own head, in the bottom of a bottle, ignoring her needs while she soldiered on. I know she was lonely. I get it. But I never crossed that line. And I can't help but feel like she leapt over it. People say betrayal is like a knife to the heart. But that's not how it feels. It's slower. Like a cold weight settling in your chest. Like the world moving around you while you stand still, disconnected, hollowed out. She's been trying. Cooking my favorite meals. Sitting beside me in silence. Asking if I want to talk. Saying sorry in every way except words now. But the trust is shattered. It's like living with a stranger I still recognize. We sleep in separate rooms. We don't argue. But we don't talk much either. She keeps saying she's relieved it's out. That she doesn't have to carry the guilt anymore. And all I can think is, you get to be relieved. I get to be broken. I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to forgive. Start fresh. Try therapy. Try anything. Another part of me wants to pack a bag and go. No words. Just silence. People say if it was just emotional, maybe it's worth saving. But when your wife's pants are off in another man's bed, how emotional is that? So Reddit, what would you do? Do I believe her? Or am I just too scared to admit that the woman I thought I knew is capable of lying so completely? Update. It's been about a week since I posted. I didn't expect the amount of responses and DMs I got. Some compassionate, some brutal, all honest. Thank you to everyone who took the time to read my story. It helped more than I expected. A lot has happened in the past 7 days. Some of it good. Some of it confusing. And some of it soul-crushing. I'm still in the house. We haven't separated, but we're in a strange, fragile limbo. I'm in the guest room. She's in ours. We barely speak unless it's about the kids or logistics. And even those conversations feel loaded. Like we're both tiptoeing through emotional landmines. She's been doing everything right since the truth came out. No defensiveness. No blame. Just guilt. Constant, heavy guilt. She broke down again on the third night after my post and told me there was one more thing she hadn't shared. Turns out she had seen him one more time months ago, before the trip. Just coffee. But she didn't tell me about it initially because nothing happened, and she didn't want to make it worse. She swore it was innocent. But honestly, every new piece of info, no matter how small, chips away at what little trust remains. I asked her why she kept anything hidden if she claimed to want to come clean. She said, "Because I didn't want to watch you look at me like that again." That hit hard. Because she's right, I haven't looked at her the same since. I don't know if I ever will. We had one long, difficult conversation 2 nights ago. I laid everything out, how I felt deceived, embarrassed, and foolish. How I can't stop picturing her in that Airbnb bed with him. How it plays like a silent film on loop in my head. I told her I don't know how to be intimate with someone I can't trust. She cried. Said she understands. Said she knows she ruined everything we built. She still insists there was no sex. That she was pulled in by nostalgia, by the comfort of someone who knew her before life got so complicated. That she never planned on it going beyond a kiss. That the touching just happened, but she stopped it before the point of no return. She keeps using that phrase, the point of no return. But for me, she already crossed it. I also found out from our daughter, completely by accident, that my wife had been weirdly protective of her phone over the past year. Our daughter thought it was just mom stuff, like work messages or maybe menopause stuff she didn't want to talk about. But now, I can't help but wonder how deep this went. How long it's been building under my nose. We started marriage counseling yesterday. It was intense. The therapist told us that recovery after infidelity, emotional or physical, requires complete transparency, daily effort, and time. A lot of time. Right now, I don't know if I have that kind of time in me. I'm exhausted. Not just from this, but from everything that came before it. The years of addiction. The guilt of being absent. The resentment I buried for years. Now it's all resurfacing at once and I don't know what to do with it. She wants to save this marriage. She said she's willing to do whatever it takes, even if that means giving me space or letting me walk away. For the first time in a while, I actually believe her. But the damage is real. I can't unsee what I've seen. I can't unknow what I know. I don't know how this ends. Some days I want to try. To fight for the years we had. For our family. For the promise we made. Other days, I look at her and all I see is the woman who lied to me while I was finally trying to be better. The woman who said she was going to take care of her mom but ended up half naked in an Airbnb with a man from her past. So, that's where I'm at. Stuck. Trying to heal from something I didn't cause. Trying to decide if a broken thing can ever be trusted again, even if it still looks whole from the outside. Thanks for listening, Reddit. I'll post a final update in a few weeks. Maybe by then I'll know if I'm staying or letting go. Final update. It's been 3 months since I first shared my story. Back then, I was drowning in disbelief, holding on to the edge of a life I thought was real. Since then, I've read every comment, every piece of advice, criticism, empathy, and tough love. It helped. Not all of it was easy to hear, but I needed every word. This will be my final update. Because I finally made a decision. Shortly after my last post, we continued counseling. Weekly sessions, sometimes alone, sometimes together. I learned a lot. About myself. About her. About the layers of damage that had built up between us long before the affair. I realized I had been living in a state of emotional bankruptcy for years. She'd been quietly withdrawing pieces of herself while I was too consumed by my own issues to notice. That doesn't excuse what she did, not even close, but it gave me a painful kind of clarity. For her part, she kept trying. Therapy. Letters. Apologies. Full access to her phone. She even reached out to his ex-wife to prove nothing happened beyond what she admitted. The ex confirmed he hadn't dated anyone since the divorce, but obviously couldn't speak for that weekend. My wife even agreed to sign a post-nuptial agreement giving me full financial control if I ever decided to leave. She said it wasn't about keeping me, it was about showing she had nothing left to hide. We had good days. Better than I expected. We laughed again. Had real conversations. Shared memories without bitterness. But even in those moments, something always hovered between us. This invisible wall that never fully came down. Every night I looked at her and wondered, was this the woman who once betrayed me? Or the woman who's fighting to rebuild what she broke? The truth is, she's both. That duality haunted me. Then something happened last week that gave me clarity. I was cleaning out the garage and found an old photo album. Pictures from our early years. One particular photo stopped me cold. It was from our honeymoon. We were on a beach, sunburned and smiling like idiots. I remembered taking that picture. I remembered the joke we made right before the shutter clicked. I remembered trusting her completely in that moment. And I realized, I'll never feel that again. Not with her. I don't hate her. I don't even blame her the way I used to. I understand her pain. I understand the loneliness. I understand the weight of being the strong one for too long. But I can't unknow what I know. The moment she booked that Airbnb with another man, twice, she didn't just betray me. She ended something. A kind of safety. A kind of innocence. A version of our marriage that can't be rebuilt, no matter how hard we try. So I told her. Last night I told her I was moving out. I'm not filing for divorce yet. But I need space. I need to figure out who I am outside of this marriage. I told her I loved her. That I probably always will. But that I also love myself enough now to say, this isn't enough anymore. She didn't fight me. She cried quietly. Then nodded. Said she understood. Said she'd wait if that's what I needed. That she'd spend however long it takes proving I can trust her again. But I don't think that's possible, not really. Sometimes love doesn't die in a fire. Sometimes it erodes slowly. Sometimes it survives the storm, but the house is too damaged to live in anymore. So this is where I leave things. No revenge. No screaming. Just a quiet goodbye to the life I thought we had. Thanks for listening, Reddit. And if you're reading this and facing something similar, whatever you choose, let it come from a place of self-respect. You deserve that. We all do.